More or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of More or Nothing with Ryan and Max. And we are going to start off with a huge apology for nothing that we've done wrong, guys. I think we fulfilled our jobs, but there's a certain member within our team who has failed to deliver what we have been telling our fabulous listeners and viewers for the best part of a week and a half now, that there was an extra episode and that we would be hearing from Bernhard Janssen van Rensburg and Fitz Harding, Max's teammate at Bristol, who he could have we might have just re-recorded something with Max with them in Bristol, but they are going to be on this show, right?
By the way, I can't believe, so I haven't had a word with producer Jim about that yet, so we'll do that afterwards. But yeah, I don't know why that never went out. So he's in the bad books. Whilst we're on producer Jim, maybe his little burner account could come and let us know. He's been wading into the comments again. Our old hermano, producer Jim's burner here, just changed the handle. Same old hermano. So have a look at it. Strada Ravida. But he said regarding the Eben stuff, he's chatting it up. But hermano, what do you think about your old mate, producer Jim, messing up there? Get straight into the comments, straight off the bat. Come on, give it to us. And this is where we will find out if it is producer Jim. That's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Said to us. And then do you remember also in on warm-up last week when we were like, we need to be quick, guys, because we're going to put the boys on. He's like, yeah, it's quite a long one, having not edited it or anything. Just basically just buying himself more time. Anyway, boys, how are we all? Maxi boy with a bit of a shiner there. First shine.
Yeah, it was fun, boys. Down in Llanelli, down in Carmarthen. It was a good trip. Went up the night before with Genge and Gabi Oghre. Had a lovely kind of, those when you're just having like chats all the way up on trips and you're just chewing out the hypotheticals of life. It was much fun.
Hold on, you went before the team?
Yeah, because I wanted to I quite like, like having a night before. Even if it's like 2 hours away, I'm like, I need to go up before. So some of the boys wanted to go, and then I was like, I'm definitely going as well then. So we went up and...
I love that. I absolutely love that.
It was really nice.
Yeah, there's like different players, like different things, right? And like you said, if it's a really late game, some people don't mind, or travelling up on the day, all those sorts of things. But so most of the guys travelled up on the bus the day of the game.
It's
not that far.
Yeah, it's not that far, but it's like far enough where I was like, you know what, I'm going to have a leisurely morning. So I had a little walk into town, a little jaunt. It's an interesting place, definitely, because I was thinking, it was a bit derelict in town. Derelict, my balls got to it, yeah. But it was a little bit kind of shabby. But man, the architecture in that old houses are amazing there.
Mate,
there used to be some serious money there at some point. But anyway,
can you believe Max is selling Llanelli to our listeners?
Llanelli.
Who else went? Was it just you three that went? And do the club pay for the hotel, or do you have to take that out of your own pocket?
Take it out of our own pocket. But
that's mental.
It was nice.
Do you need special dispensation? Do you need to be like, Pat, we're going up the night before?
Yeah, we told him. I think he quite likes that though.
I bet he loved it. Yeah, it's professional. That fucking love that Mexi boy.
And then it was good. It was good. Had a lovely meal the evening before at the hotel. What did I have? I had like a chorizo tagliatelle and a steak and chips.
Of course, that's one meal.
Went into town to get a haircut. All of them were booked out. I wasn't sure if it was like a kind of like, you're not from around these parts, are you, boy? I'm not cutting your follicles, bae. But it was what it was. Then,
I actually love that you did that. That's so good. But my question is, sorry, Max, is you can tell he's obviously not got kids, but then I think blokes with kids would be like, I'll
go up.
I'll tell the missus that Pat wants us down there the night before, and then she finds out no one else has gone.
I think Pat was like apologizing to the guys with kids because we were traveling on the day of the game. He was like, "Yeah, sorry, boys, traveling on the day of the game, but that's fine. Bears way." And then they had a lovely brunch. There was some really trendy calves in there though. So we went there and had a really nice French toast. It was really impressive brioche. Like it was so fluffy. It was almost like a souffle. Like if you threw this piece of brioche off the table, it would have floated down to the floor with a creme anglaise and like this sort of berry compote and some roasted pistachios. It's quite delicious.
Do you know what? Barks absolutely loved it down there. He always talks about Mumbles being where he lived. He bloody loved it. So
and I should have on the ocean, the sort of seaside walk, but it was very windy that day, so I'm sort of glad I didn't.
And just on that, this week's sponsor is Llanelli Town Council.
Tourism Board.
Just a shout out to the Llanelli Town Council
Tourism Board, who are not giving us a penny. It's just. Very good, Ryan. You're a clever man when you want to be. Segue to our fabulous sponsors. We love them, of course we do. It's the boys from NordVPN. Do head to nordvpn.com/mall. Get yourself the deal on us. You get 4 months for free on a 2-year plan. I'm sure some of you will, holidays coming up, time to yourselves, perhaps just before the family get there. Just good if you wanted to surf around. I'm just saying, like, stress-free surfing with the Naughty Boys.
I also hear that if you use NordVPN in certain sort of countries, you can book cheaper flights.
True that.
Hey.
This is true.
This should be, because we're not just naughty boys.
No, we're not just naughty boys. We should show ways that you can hack with NordVPN and
I love it. So every week we should come up with
capitalism. Yeah, 100%.
Max, that is wonderful. So you reckon that's what you can do?
Apparently, if you put it down as Colombia as your sort of residency, you get real cheap flights.
I've never even thought. Should I tell you my because
as a father of 4, that'd be quite handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and that is interesting. I know that I get it wrong though. But how much do our listeners get off?
They get 4 months for free on a 2-year plan.
Yeah, so they can thank us. They can thank us for 4 months free
using the code MAUL MAUL.
That and a really sore penis, unbelievable. But. Do you know what I realised?
It's the worst as we try so hard. We're like, guys, don't do it this week. Don't do it this week. Boys, we hint. We don't thrust. We hint. And then
you and your damn potty brain.
Do our listeners, though, I think personally, if I was a brand and I was a sponsor, that's how I would want to be pushed out there. So do our listeners engage? Are they engaging? Comment, let us know below. I found out that you don't have to go all the way to Boston to get over some of the sites. Ireland, who knew it? It's obviously different rules.
Do you get your server to Boston? Yeah, you like the American stuff.
I swiped that way to get to Boston and New York just to get on a server that allows you things. But it turns out you could just literally go over to Ireland and it's fine.
Okay.
Simon Zebo taught me that.
Full circle, baby.
Wasn't meant to say his name, but here we are. Anyway, thanks NordVPN for sponsoring the show and allowing us to deliver this nonsense to people.
Guys, let's crush it. No, okay, Max, you've given us the pre. You've given us the foreplay of your weekend. Talk us through the actual main part.
So we started off well, hard and fast. We were doing all right. Bill Matter crossing twice. One sort of second and third minute, and then straight off the back of a Cala break out the back, just standard Fijian connection stuff. And then
you haven't seen it anywhere, and they need to watch it again.
It was a nice
Revuvu, yeah.
Fiji to Fiji, Revuvu out the back door. And it's almost like it was telepathic and glued together.
Calamari ravioli. He's the man. Yeah.
Calamari ravioli.
He's on fire. Yeah, he's doing some bad things on the edge there. And then Big Bill crossing. And then, like last week, obviously, we got the balance right between running and kicking. This week, I feel like we got it a bit wrong. And as a result, it kind of was a bit scrappy. And at Scarlet's credit to them, were dogged, very dogged. Some strong performances. I thought Jade Ball was class. Lassie was really good. Up front, they were Doughty. So it was a decent game, very gritty. Man, it was tough. As you can see, I'm wearing a little souvenir.
Yeah.
But
I did flick it on at one point and thought, like, because obviously we said that I'd lost the Scarlets the week before, but I mean, it was just a blip. And then I'm looking at it going,
the starting lineup, very handy. Yeah. The me was very good. Obviously Rogers had a strong campaign for Wales, so they were both very slippery customers.
Was it harder than you thought it would be, Max? I know that sounds, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I mean, you look at them, they were bottom of the URC. You take away that, their first point was last week against Glasgow. We don't need to sort of keep going on about that. But was there not an element of, this is a game we need to win? And actually, it was quite a tough, it was very close, really. I mean, you could have lost it right at the end.
I know, we were definitely very, very keen to get a dub away, and that was sort of a game we were definitely highlighting. But I don't think we were under any illusions that when they're full strength, they're a serious side. So
really,
do you not think so?
I reckon you're saying that, but behind the scenes, the boys are on the bus going, "Boys, come on, like this." We've got this one in the bag, and even on the way back,
we're thinking that. But
we lost that one.
Yeah, same. It's probably the same thoughts that Glasgow had, right?
Yeah,
the bus.
Exactly. But you can't just those two games. Like, you look at that, but Dwayne Peel, fair play to him. He's got them ticking. Like, you look at Europe and you look at these Welsh teams that are obviously struggling in the URC. Like, what do? Do you just go, right, okay, let's try and focus on the Champions Cup? Realistically, they're not thinking they're going to go and win the Champions Cup. So then does he just park it? But we'll get onto this in a minute, the whole deal around the Champions Cup and how you make it what it used to be, how you make it, like the Invest It. The Heineken Cup back in the day. Do you remember, like...
Yeah,
the jeopardy was the top two teams go through, and the jeopardy was every game because you basically couldn't slip up, right? You couldn't. I think that's all. You couldn't have a shock defeat.
And I think they need to try and find that again. Also, do they still? I was trying to think this the weekend, mate. Do they still do squads for the Europe? Because remember, you had to get named.
You had to have guys registered for Europe. I think they still do that, but I don't think it's as well. It's not as transparent. It's not as sort of publicised.
I reckon there's another thing there. You make the squad smaller. You tell them, right, you got to register a squad, and you make that smaller because then they have to play the good players that they,
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea.
Yeah. And then it prevents people throwing out bomb squads. Just a thought. But yeah, I don't know. Like, you look at it and go, how do you get it back to what it used to be? And there's obviously huge games, and there's always going to be dead rubbers because even in that format, there would have been like the top two go through, but then the games later on, they're a dead rubber. It means it doesn't really mean much, But I agree.
Yeah, but it was always quite good because that year,
teams.
But they had it really well in that year where it was the top two all went through, and then I think it was the best place, two best placed third teams. So then that was the bit that continued because you knew that you sort of had a.
So why did they stop that? Because
there's not enough teams. Anyway, let's whiz through this. Otherwise, we'll end up doing exactly what we did last week, and then we can't just keep blaming producer Jim. Can we just pause quickly? Eben's 12 weeks because that's been a big talking point. Bizarrely, on all sides, people seem to be upset about the end result. Some calling it too lenient, and some probably slightly more South African disposition calling it too much.
Well, there's people out there saying it's too much.
Because comparatively, for the last, it's the biggest, I think, eye gouging ban in some years, maybe like 6 years or something like that. I think.
Is that the fact of the matter? Is it? So it's the biggest ban in.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Sorry. That's fucking crazy. And the fact that people think that it's too big a ban is slightly mad as well. I know we have a lot of South African listeners in here, and then some of them are even commenting, "Good, he'll take the ban anyway. Let him rest until the World Cup. Hopefully, it's a big enough one so that he doesn't get injured all the way until the World Cup." And I know they're only joking, but actually, if you look at it. We spoke about it last week. What's worse, like a punch? We talked about ball grabbing as well, but like gouging someone's eye is up there with the worst, easily the worst. And had man come away with it blind, would there have been a different sanction? Like it would have been a year ban. It would have been 10 times worse. So should the fact that he didn't go blind or have any sort of injuries, should that have an effect on it? I don't think it should. I think it's the fact that you've clearly attempted to do it. And did Etzebeth admit to doing it?
He admitted that it hit
but
the
not
eye.
that he willingly, not that he had intent.
He willingly did it, and he definitely did it. But I feel like, and I think one of our viewers commented this, but if you compare it to, let's say, the Scout Burger one against the Lions, right, where he's there digging away, that was different in the sense of they're both shit, but his was like he was just trying to paw at him, right? He looked like he was just trying to get arms all over him. Then you think, and then he kind of made contact. Yeah,
you're talking about Etzebeth?
No, it looked like he was gripping his cranium with a thumb in his eye. So
yeah, he thought we think it was the mountain. Yeah, from
the thing is, if you take his name out of the whole context, right, remove Etzebeth from it, you look at it. I would still be exactly the same. It's not the person, it's not the player, it's not what he's done. It's just the fact that you can clearly see the thumb going into the eye and like a push down with anger on his face. You look at it and go, yeah, that should probably be worse than 12 weeks. That's the lowest. That is the lowest it could have been, I think. Yeah. Am I right in saying? So, I don't know. I think they probably needed to make more of an example out of it because it doesn't really.
What I found interesting, though, is he's never had a red card.
That really counted towards him, just so you know. He was his almost spotless record beforehand. And I think a lot of people were surprised to hear that he's never had a red card.
He's always kept it right on the boundary.
Right on.
And we all know what his reputation is, a sort of ferocious enforcer. So
he was supposed to get 18 weeks, just so you know, but because of the fact he hadn't got a ban, because he'd had a clean record, they knocked off 6. So it's bizarre because ultimately, apparently, it followed the exact kind of the scaling. It worked the way the scale's supposed to work.
Another ridiculous thing I did see as well, and I don't know how true this is, but did you see that thing that someone put up about Ardi Surveyor wrote a thing about him as a person to be looked at? And you're like, oh, who the fuck needs that? Like, what?
A character reference.
Character reference. Just because no one wrote you on when you have to go and do it, mate. So they get all fucking bitter.
It's a fucking good guy.
Wilson's got one from his dad.
Get him, Mark.
How many red cards did I have, Mark? Go, tell me.
That's good.
Interesting.
Go on.
Are you? I don't know.
Yes.
I reckon because you've said it like that. I would say maybe 4.
0.
Thank you.
No.
Case in point, proven.
Yeah, but the game hadn't gone then.
Yeah, exactly. But back then, mate,
actually, do you know what? I'm starting to worry. I might have forgotten that I do have one, and someone's going to go out there and like search it.
ChatGPT says you've had 0 red cards.
Let's stop because people will go searching for things that I've done, and I don't want that.
No, please put more water battery in the comments, like the guys who just everything that they say and Ryan, whatever Ryan says, they'll be like, yeah, at least I didn't dress up as Batman and beat someone up. Nothing to do with it.
We are 20 minutes in and we've already gone.
Okay, come on.
Max, just give me your quick verdict. Do you think 12 weeks was enough? Slightly lenient?
Slightly lenient, but it's still a decent ban. But yeah, I was going to say, have you seen Tom Aspinall's eye? It still doesn't work. It doesn't track with his other eye from that UFC heavyweight bout between him and Cyril Gane. So he's got the poke. And obviously the internet was like, he faked it, he milked it, he was getting pieced up by Cyril Gane, he just wanted a way out of the fight. And the geezer still hasn't got his vision back, like in terms of like his double vision still. So this eye's like lagging behind his good eye. So yeah, the sort of consequences of doing something like that can be very, very disastrous. So yeah, it's probably a little low end, but given his history, etc., I suppose they were very, very meticulous about how they did this. No, Rye, you're absolutely not. I think it's low end. I think my gut says it's low end. Yes.
Okay. Just so we know, comparatively, it's longer than most recent eye area contact bans for the last 10 years, basically, but shorter than the historical gouging, the worst historical gouging.
I don't think there's many that are that obvious in clean, plain sight.
Julien Dupuis, do you remember, did one?
Oh, yeah, he did wild stuff, that guy.
Let's dig in to Ryan. You had a heck of a weekend, and we're not just asking for your weekend of what you got up to, but essentially you also did take in 2 big rugby matches. Start us off with the opening game of the Champions Cup. Huge congrats to Glasgow Warriors winning at Sale away. As Max will tell you, not an easy place to win.
Not an easy place to go. But again, like on that whole point of Champions Cup, how do you make it bigger, bigger spectacle? No disrespect to those 2 teams. Why have Glasgow Sale in Sale as the fucking opening game of the Champions Cup? That is another weird one for me.
Stuart Barnes said that. Yeah, why? Why?
Sale that are just not really hitting it. Where are they in the Prem? They're like 7th or 8th.
And also a George Fordless Sale.
Yeah, exactly. And you're looking at it going, oh, hold on a minute. What? But anyway, I was down there at Sale, and I think Sale have got a lot of injuries. You mentioned George Ford being one of them. Rob the Prier comes in, but I don't know. They looked like they were in control early doors, and then I don't know. There was always something. I felt like Glasgow were always going to manage to pull it back. I was in there doing it with Big Lawrence Llanelli, and he was going, no way are they coming back. I'm like, Big Law, just you watch, son. Just you watch. And they do what they do. Kyle Stain had a good day. Joshy Mackay, the Kiwi from Kaiapoi, he was bloody good. And like I said, the defence was just a bit leaky from Sale. It's just like they talked it all up, and obviously Byron McGuigan, chatted to him before the game. The defence coach who's working with England, he was back, so you thought there'd be a big change in defence, but it like just missed tackles, etc. From them, giving Glasgow more opportunities. I think there was 5 line breaks for Glasgow, 1 for Sale, so they weren't doing a huge amount of attack. But Glasgow get the job done. Bonus point at Sale for them to go on the road and get an early bonus point win is massive, because this week's going to be easy back at home against Toulouse. So yeah, a good start for my old team, Glasgow Warriors, boys. I was happy for them. And Sale, not looking good. Old Sanderson, he gave it the normal after the game, saying, plenty of fight, all this stuff, but fight doesn't matter.
They're in a weird spot, aren't they? Yeah.
And then you jumped in a cab with what were the other A-listers? So with Lawrence Dallaglio, Martin Bayfield, and Simon Zebo, and headed on down to Bath.
Yeah, I know we've chatted about it before. Obviously, I spent a lot of time with Big Lol and Zeebs, but Bates, Max, you would love it. Just sit and just stories for days. Oh yeah, we chatted about it.
Yeah, we did it in the Cardiff
final. Oh mate, it was brilliant.
What's so good is like you sit there and like we finished the Sale game, and me, Bates, and Lol sat in the hotel, had a couple of pints, and just like. Me, I could fucking talk non-stop, but I was just happy to just sit and listen to those 2 tell me stories about like World Cups and fucking what they got. It was amazing. It's so good. I'm actually thinking they should just start their own podcast doing that, because some of the stories that Bayfield's got.
Bayfield.
His impression of Dallaglio is brilliant.
Yeah,
like,
when
so
he did
good,
the impression of Lawrence,
when he did, and he's like, "Oh, big weekend that," and you're like,
yeah.
And he's like, Lawrence Dallaglio, biggest Teflon Don he's ever seen. Yeah, I was just like,
that was it.
Some boy for one boy.
Ripped apart in the press, and then come in the next Monday and be like, oh.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, boys, then down to Bath, and that, I mean, realistically, we obviously had the opener, which was Bath La Rochelle last year. You look at that is 2 European giants. Bath, at the moment, the way they're going in the Prem, Munster were unbeaten until last week, where they got beaten by Stormers. They haven't faced each other in a competitive game for 25 years. This is the first time. Boys,
that should have been the opener.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bath was unreal. Like, think Christmas markets, you know what it's like down there, mate. Like, the feel around it. Throw 4,000 Munster fans into the mix, and I don't usually like them too much, but throw 4,000 of them into Bath. Like the build-up, I was walking through the town before the game, and I was just like, this is so cool. This is so special. And they did what, we've done in the past, where you walk down to the ground, you don't get a bus, because it's obviously no
walk
point.
From the hotel in through, lovely.
And spoke to Clayton McMillan, the coach, before the game, and he was like, oh, what a feeling, like just wandering down through the streets with the boys, all the Munster fans. He felt like it was, almost a home game. But then not to be, because 28-0 off the bat, 22 minutes gone. Far out. There was a yellow card for Ty Burn. Obviously, Bath just taking control, like complete control. And it was like, right, we can sit back and relax now. They were just ridiculous. Mate, Ben Spencer, how good?
Yeah, he's masterful, isn't he? He's just weaponized that box kicking game to another level. Just a tactician. And he's like such a good foil for a guy like Finn Russell. Because Finn will obviously it's like stretch, like pull out the sort of the magic tricks out of his big deep hat. But Ben Spencer's a little bit more pragmatic. So it just kind of works perfectly as a complement to each other. And that's what makes it fun.
There was a stat somewhere about the amount of passes Finn threw, and it was like, I think it was like 5 the whole game or something stupid like that. That's all he had to do, because they said, and even Johan van Graan said after the game, he said, we looked at it, the weather was that bad, they completely changed the game plan, and off they went. And he had the ball on a string, putting people in the right positions. He was very good. And then that try at the end just sort of summed it all up, his little chip and chase down the edge. So yeah, Bath, boys, I said it right at the beginning, not Northampton as well, but Bath, yeah, with that squad, with the depth they've got, like even that back row, you look at it, Miles Reed, Guy Pepper, they've got a
Ted Hill.
Big Ted Hill coming off the bench. Like their bench, again, they're doing the South African way, their bench with big Thomas du Toit, people like Ted Hill coming off the bench. Yeah, they just look, Carreras, when teams...
They got the depth for the comp, 100%.
So, no, fair play to them. It was a good game. I enjoyed it, actually. Munster nearly came back, started to threaten, but they didn't take many of their chances.
But you took your chance afterwards, and...
What?
And didn't you have it? Then you had a nice evening sort of in Bath, and then over to a couple of bottles of red at dear owner of Bath's abode, Bruce Craigs.
By the way, Bruce,
did you go to Bruce?
We've chatted about Bruce before. What a legend, eh? He's a proper Ebenezer. I like him.
I bet you do. He's a real man of your ilk.
No. We had a couple. We had a few afterwards. Obviously, Finn's. I don't know why they were celebrating his 50th. It's quite weird.
Where was this at his place on the circus, or just in his box, darling? In the box?
No, in the place in the circus.
Oh, very good, very good. I hear great things about that humble abode.
Yeah. No, it was good, and a few boys are out. It was wonderful, but I took it easy because obviously I had to get back home the next morning. So,
yeah,
but you're easier than someone else's. In fact, I think like you kind of flourish in a state of sort of pickled adversity. Actually,
yeah, I do. That's where I do thrive.
But... That's where he goes into Rain Man mode in that, and his superpower is boozing and schmoozing, and so that's his like thing.
164 toothpicks on the floor.
Yeah. We're on the lash.
I don't know what. Nice. You like rugby? I like rugby. Let's talk about rugby.
We've really got to talk about rugby. But have you heard about this? Okay. Have you heard about the 60-40 Guinness? I don't know how I feel, and I'm yet to try one. But 40% Guinness Zero, 60% normal Guinness. The sweetness of the Guinness Zero apparently changes the taste, and obviously it then goes down to 2%, so you can drink double the amount.
It's unreal. He is Rain Man, Max. He's Rain Man. If it's booze,
boys, quick maths.
It's unbelievable.
Max, how good is that?
It depends what your sort of intentions are towards the night.
I'm going down the pub to have 4 or 5, right? So you're just going for a couple, a couple is 4 or 5, right? I'm going down the pub for a couple, so 4 or 5. Suddenly you can have 10.
and then be like, oh shit, I was meant to do the 0%.
You have 10.
Oh shit, I'm fucked.
Yeah, you have 10, so it's well, okay, let's just say 8 to be safe. You can then sit.
I reckon there's a psychosomatic thing that happens to the human brain once you've had 10 pints and you're like, nah, I'm still pickle.
Anyway, move on. Where are we going?
Moving on. Anyway, for me, well, and dare I say it, my opinion means nothing, but I did think probably the game of the weekend was in South Africa. Arguably the biggest collapse of the weekend was also there between the Bulls and reigning champions Bordeaux Bègles. Really amazing, neck and neck, Bulls leading 33-22 at one point before literally losing 33-46. Just the shipping, 24 unanswered points in 18 minutes. That's big, right? That's a big collapse, boys.
It didn't look like a collapse, though, did it, Max? Because
it
was like the first half, I reckon, was one of the best games of rugby I've seen in God knows how long. Like you score, we score, you score, we score. It had everything. It had mauls. It
was cagey,
runaway tries. Yeah. But Bordeaux, how good at it? Like transition, Max. When someone kicks the ball to them, you're just like, well, they're going to score.
They figured it out, haven't they? They've got like unreal confidence. Jellybear's still at the height of his powers, and I think Bibber is the best winger in the world right now. Let's be honest, just really is. And then obviously you've got Luca, who's basically the Ben Spencer of France in that regard. Obviously, he's like such a sort of logician and tactician for that team, which is just surrounded by sort of maverick, all-out attacking rugby. But then you've got Luca, who keeps everything sort of directed in the right way. The kind of ownership he has actually is wild on that Bordeaux team. But yeah, fair play to him. Huge.
To go down there, yeah. Everyone talks about obviously how hard a place it is to go and play, and then to be behind and manage to pull it back as well just shows they're the real deal. So, do they go all the way at Max? Do they go all the way? Are we going to see them? We'll definitely see them. They're definitely in the Let's just go. We'll go semis. They're definitely going to be in the semis, and we'll start to see what happens after that. Surely.
Agreed. I don't see them. I think they'll be big for them as well to repeat.
I'm pretty sure they even left some tries out there as well. Penno had one where he probably could have gone into the corner, but he tries to step back in. So, yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. Yeah. Now we get that. Now we're going to start to, obviously, I don't think it's this weekend, but that game I talked about, Northampton-Bordeaux, in Bordeaux, that is going to be so good. That's why you want these teams to get there.
Even at Po, though, there was serious pantomimery with Pollock.
Yeah, when he came, yeah.
I think he's
why are they booing him? Why are Po
because the French just...
but I think it's one of these things where he's become...
He's Henry V.
He's that guy that we want to dislike.
Flanders Field. It's that guy. Yeah. It's
and he's just like a young lad just going about his thing being him.
He's in the heads of
he's getting food by like 30,000 strangers.
But that's why, and do you know what? It fucking fuels him, which is why I love it. And it also makes him, and I think I'd be the same, when they're booing him.
It just grows him. It grows him.
Yeah. But Finn Smith kicks the easiest 3 points at the end just to put the sword in and twist it.
Because it takes away the bonus in.
Mate, and Pollock's like that, jumping on Finn Smith, going, yeah, come on. And you can tell Finn Smith's like, oh, no, just...
I don't want to be associated with this. Yeah, please. I don't want your aura on me. Get away from me.
Get off me.
Xenophobia. I don't need it.
Mate, he says something to him. I'm sure he says something to Pollock, like, no, just stop. But you can tell Pollock's like, no, fuck this. Like, boo me, have that. Straight up.
But don't you think it's such a dick move at the end? I mean, it's not. It's obviously every professional team would do it, but it's not. They're not in your group. It's not it's like a Swiss style. So it doesn't really sort of matter.
I reckon if Po hadn't booed him, they probably wouldn't have gone for the 3 points.
I mean, because it's literally like, and even the commentator was like, and with that kick, Po end with nothing. It's like,
there you go. But fair play, ruthless.
That's a big result because they've been undefeated at home this year, and I thought they played really well. Like Northampton's scrum was on top. That was a huge in for them, and then like the backs were just all over him. Hendy played very well. Yeah, strong performance from them.
And also Finn Smith with the presence of being like, here's the drop goal for the win. Oh, wait, I'm about to get smoked by someone.
Yeah, back to the short side, yeah.
Back to the short side and finishing it off. Well, very, very well done to Northampton there to kick off away from home with a win.
Right, boys, it's that time again. A big shout out to our sponsor that have been with us from day one. It is Wolf Craig Distillers. Max, where have the people got to go?
wolfcraig.com.
Head over there, grab yourself a wonderful bottle of the Wolf Craig 14-year-old Deluxe Blend, second edition triple sherry cask. It's a mouthful, but I would like a mouthful of it. Boys, it's beautiful stuff. We need to, we've got to make sure we keep thanking them. go into the description, head over to wolfcrate.com to get yours. They also do gin. Christmas is coming up, boys. Like, who would you
easiest present?
A beautiful bottle of whiskey or gin. Come on. Your old man like a tipple, Max?
No, he's allergic to alcohol.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hold on. Is he actually?
Yeah, he gets bad migraines.
Oh, who doesn't? Everyone gets hangovers. That's a hangover.
No, it's as he drinks it, like literally half an hour later.
Whatever you do, don't buy it for your father that gets migraines from drinking alcohol. Buy it for
my dad. My dad doesn't. My dad pretends nobody else drinks whiskey in the house. Then he comes to our house, and then the whiskey's gone from full bottle to half bottle, and I'm like, no one drinks whiskey here. And he's like, oh, actually, I think I did have a glass or two. And you're like, you've drank half a bottle.
Oh, there we go. Hey, we're keeping it in line for our sponsors. We want to make sure we do it like this. There's a bit of authenticity about it. But honestly, head over to wolfcrate.com, grab something for Christmas or something for yourself. There's some beautiful stuff over there.
Boys, Leinster winning comfortably at home to Harlequins, although perhaps result a tiny bit flashing, but a good win all the same.
I watched some bits of it. I was in Bath. I still don't think. I think the scoreline almost flatters Leinster because
I reckon that's good, lads.
What's good?
Like the way they've won that. All right. It's usually it's too good to be true at this point, right? With Leinster.
Yeah.
I think there's no danger of sort of a dangerous sort of pre-peak, if you like. I think they're
because that happened last year, didn't it? Because they blew teams away, and then we're like, "Oh, this has been too easy for them."
Yeah, let's just think like that. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. It's just there's no like logical reasoning for that, but I feel like it's all right. But like I thought, Jimmy O'Brien, Jordy Lamore, for all he looked really, really classy. It was good to see them going well. Obviously, guys that don't always well, especially Jordy Lamore, he sort of was the man at one point. He's come back into the fold. Yeah, it's interesting.
But by the way, Max, do you know what I'm seeing a lot of that are all on the money now? And one of them, it was probably one of the most spectacular ones I've seen, Prendergast crossfield kick. Why are they so prevalent at the moment in the game? Like everyone, there's something going on because, mate, that was silky. His little like side volley where he's crossfield it, runs it in so nicely. The reason,
Why
the
is
reason,
that?
by the way, I don't know. Is it because there's always a yellow card, so there's more space? Is it because people are just getting carded all the time? I don't think
it was
the
way teams are defending in that sort of fire zone now. They're like bringing more numbers into the front.
Because I swear, back in the day, it was always that crossfield and it would always be contested. Whereas now it seems like they're running in crossfields for
but everyone's got pretty good at the pick and go. So I feel like you have to go front line now because then otherwise they've got that play out the back. So when it's on, they're just pulling the trigger. Every 10 can sort of do it. I know what you're saying though. Yeah, maybe the backfield is just fully loaded frontline numbers.
Just looking at that Quins team, right? So we're talking about was that a fully stacked Quins team? I don't think it was it?
No, it wasn't. There's a few guys missing. Finn Baxter's out. Wasn't in. Don Brandt wasn't in, was he? I don't think he was.
No, and that's why I look at it and go, maybe that's why I don't think Leinster, it wasn't that emphatic because it wasn't really against the strongest Quins side. And Quins at the moment seem like they're in a bit of a weird place as well, don't they?
Yeah, they are. They actually, domestically, they're not in the strongest of spots. Lost at beating them last week. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. They'll obviously go full, but there's no reason they shouldn't be good. Like their starting team is doughty. It's decent.
But because of the way that the competition's laid out, then they've been able to rest a few players and not go full ball because they're like, why would we go to the Aviva with a full strength team and waste and like chance?
Like, look what happened last time. Do you know what I mean? It was an absolute massacre, and that was a full strength Quins team.
Of course it was. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that definitely was in their minds. You're absolutely right, Brian.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It is a shame.
It is a shame.
Yeah, okay, let's get it done. We'll see how they build nicely towards it. But yeah, Quins weren't that. Yeah, it wasn't that great. Was there anything else big that happened in that game? I'm trying to think. Like, actually, Snyman it's not fair, is he? Like, I genuinely watch him when he's carrying the ball, and it doesn't even look like he needs to go. I think because he's so big, like Mr. Gilmore's jacket, it doesn't ever look fast when he runs.
I know, but he moves very well for how big he is.
Yeah, but he doesn't ever look like he's going fast.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think he is. I think he's going fairly quick for a big man. Like, I think
But
he might.
He's just so
Yeah,
long.
it's just so. Yeah, even with like a guy in our team, Joe Owens, like a lot forward, super fast, like really fast, Ryan, like as fast as sort of the back three. But because it's just so long, you're like, he's not going that quick. And then you see the GPS or the 40-meter time, you're like, oh, he's going really fast.
I'll never forget Richie Gray. Every time he took off with the ball, it just looked like it was all in slow motion.
You're really, yeah.
6'10" of a human moving fast. It just never looks fast. But he's just a cheat code, and he goes into contact, and you just see like the way he holds the ball, he just flicks it off and throws it around.
The ball looks so small in his hand.
Size 3,
I didn't see much of Rico Ioane. He could have run the try himself at the end, but he didn't. He's obviously trying to be a good teammate. But there he is. We finally see him in a Leinster shirt.
The big star.
That was it.
Let's move on to Ryan's favourite topic after the Irish teams in the shape of Edinburgh. What was an incredible result at home against Toulon. 20 points in 11 minutes. Big second half surge, winning 33-20. That's a big result, right?
It is against a good Toulon team as well. Like, it wasn't like they were holding back. The weather, I saw a bit of it on the TV. It was awful. Like, I mean, I've never seen rain like it. So again, you heard them speak after at Barks, and that were chatting to Everett after, saying that they had to change the game plan a little bit. But fair play to Edinburgh. It's not an easy place to go and play when the weather's like that. And dare I say it? No, I won't say it about the atmosphere.
What are you going to say?
No, just like playing it too long at the Stade Mail, like with it bouncing, you're like, that would be amazing. Whereas that's what you're used to, and then you go up to the Hive.
Yeah, it was still good though. It was still energy. There was definitely energy. Yeah. They were loving it.
Not for too long though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think.
What you're saying? They were understimulated by the sort of the weather and maybe.
I think there's a bit of that with these big teams.
They get like instant seasonal effectiveness.
Yeah, what is this for fuck's sake? But no, fair play, Edinburgh, get it done. Young 10 for them who played pretty well. Maggie throwing himself about.
Yes, Maggie's Barmy Army since he's been captain, going strength to strength. Liam McConnell though, thought he was handy. He looks good, mate. He looks handy.
Yeah. No, he is. He had a good showing, didn't he? In the first game of the Autumns, etc. So
the young tight end, he also looked good. Ollie Blythe Lafferty, I thought he scrum well. So there you go.
You know more about the scrum than me.
Got a guy. There's a guy coming back. He's 19 years old, lad. Hell of a shift. That's impressive. So maybe the sort of understudy to the great Zander Fateson. Crying out for it.
It's Bath that go to Toulon, isn't it?
Yes, Ryan. Bath go to Toulon at the weekend.
Yeah, that excites me, that one. Because of the way that Bath obviously went about their work with Munster, and now Toulon have to win. They were always going to have to win at home, but that's a big old game. That's one I'll look forward to this weekend. Bath, Toulon down there. Sweet Lord Jesus.
Yeah, there's some big old games to look forward to. Pau, of course, heading to Bristol. That's going to be. Are you guys ready, Max?
I'm intrigued. They have to send. They have to send the big guns, don't they? No, they don't. They don't have to.
Who? Pau.
After losing the Saints.
I hope this isn't disrespectful, but I look at their team and it's not a load of people that are really that well known. They've almost created this squad of guys that, I don't know, have sort of been flying under the radar. If you go and really look at their team and look through it, like I was looking at it before the Northampton game.
How they survived the Gators. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what impresses me about them. I think I look at it and go, yeah, they built that one nicely. So, I don't know. What other games are there this weekend, Mark? Come on, reel some off.
Well, obviously you're welcoming Toulouse, who will be off the back of. I had a great stat here from Toulouse's absolute humbling of the Sharks. Ruthless and often Ange Capuozzo with a fabulous hat trick, but they scored a try every 6.8 minutes in the first half, which let's be honest is insane even for them.
Oh my gosh! And Ange Capuozzo was so good as well.
Yeah, he's a gifted mover. He just moves very differently to other people, doesn't he?
Leinster is another one as well. Leinster, that's on a Friday night. That'll be a good one.
And Leicester need to, I think most teams don't want to start with two L's, so that they're going to have to go all big. Stormers welcoming La Rochelle. That promises to be a big old game. Northampton with the Bulls, who again, depending on where they want to or what they want to do with this competition, do you think they don't want it, Max?
I don't know if that would be the game they would target away.
Surely psychologically, you start looking if you're basically you'll be at the bottom of more or less at the bottom of the table after 2 games. Are you not worried at that point that we've only then got X number of games?
No, I don't know. Like Max says, no, I reckon you're probably right. They'll look at that and go, "Oh, that's too difficult a place to go and play. We've just been beaten up at the weekend. Let's park that one." I don't think teams worry too much about having that. I think
you can get by with 2 wins.
Yeah, and that again, it all comes back to like, how do you change that? You've got to change the process a bit.
Right. Let's finally round it up. Saracens with a good win at home to Clermont. Calori with a fabulous try, and again, general all round performance. Max, he
was class.
He's someone to look out for.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got a very, very bright future. But I would like to say that Hugh Tizard played bloody well. The big white lightning in the lock room. He was class. Thought he played really well. Sinti was also very good. Huge performance from Saracens. I think that just goes to kind of show you they're also very much a contender in this competition. I think if they just keep that sort of consistency, but it's all going very well for them. Like as long as everyone stays fit, they got all the sort of IQ in the right positions, the right skills, and they got a decent amount of X factor this year. So I think they'll be around. They'll be around there, right? I'm going to put it out there. I think they'll be, as long as they keep the right guys fit, they'll be close to it.
Yeah, there's a few contenders. After this weekend, it's got to be exciting, but the real telling is get this one out of the way, get this weekend done, and then we'll have a little regroup. Then we'll make some ridiculous decisions and predictions after that.
As always, and they are all for La Rochelle. Good win at home to Leicester, which sets them up well for next week's big match that they.
Shall we get on to the Challenge Cup?
Shut up. So heading to the Stormers, and the Stormers with a very good win, just continuing their fabulous current form with a great win in Bayonne, rather in southern part of France, while Gloucester also rather surprisingly beat Cask at home, bearing in mind that they have also been finding it hard to buy a win. That is our wrap up. Just a final few words. Firstly, our condolences go out to a member of our fabulous Maul or Nothing community. I'm thanking at Rugby Benji 89 for writing this in, who wrote a comment for us that was, my mum was a huge rugby fan, as am I. This was her favourite podcast she used to listen to when she was poorly. Sadly, she passed away yesterday after a battle with cancer. Thank you, chaps, for cheering her up during her illness, and keep up the good work. Thanks, boys. Well, thank you, Benji, for writing into the show. Our thoughts, obviously, with you and your family at this difficult time, and we're obviously so happy that we could give just some sort of light relief in those difficult times. And thank you all to everybody else from the rest of the community. You know who you are, who've come in and have also added your condolences, and knowing that Benji's mother's still there watching, and it's very nice. It's been nice to gather around our gang. I'm going to juxtapose that, though, also with thank you to Is It Was It 8756, who told us the beanbag is hairy, as are the armpits, to avoid skin-on-skin friction. So that was to give us the answer to why we don't.
That makes so much sense.
Why we have hairy balls. So
that's such a good reply. Now it makes perfect sense. He's nailed that. Chub rub is real, ladies and gentlemen.
So we thank you again to all for all the comments, and yes, Benji, our thoughts go out to you, mate. But a huge thank you to Ryan and to Max. Max, you've been finishing off with some Warcraft. You're back into that now, is that right? I'm calling you out, mate. I'm calling you out in front of the bloody boys,
mate.
Yeah, that's my little commando sort of war chief.
So you've got nothing better to do than paint a fucking.
Can I just say? I'm going to right. Honestly, sorry, that's the doorbell. Be right back.
Should leave this bit of the podcast in it.
What was I saying? Oh yeah,
you're talking about your bloody painting toys.
Okay, so the process itself is wholly consuming. So what I realized when I was doing this was that you're so consumed by the act of creating, you've forgotten what that feels like. It's something you took for granted as a child when you're so absorbed by something, because we're so easily distracted and chasing dopamine from anything and everything. It's very difficult even to watch a movie without having your phone and double screening, right?
I get that.
But when I do this, I cannot do anything else. I have to sit there and meticulously assemble this man and his green physiology.
Oh, do you build it as well as paint it?
Oh, mate, look at this thing. You got to build it and glue it and cut it and like everything. So like, it's just wonderful. It takes your like brain into this kind of fuzzy wholeness. I don't
mind a bit of Lego and a puzzle, but yeah, Warhammer is. I mean, I
so look at you trying to be so cool. I'm not a nerd who does Warhammer's cool. Shut up.
So Mark confessed to me off thing that he's got all his and he has little battles with them. He's like, oh, coming in, I'm going defend the fucking castle, and Mark's like, yeah, choo. And then he's like, I'll just throw money at you, and then everyone's like, oh, what's money got to do with it, Mark?
Yeah, that's what the Space Commander
near me. Right, is a place called the Cryptic Cabin in town.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Yeah. So I went in there, right, just to see what was going on. It was very, very busy, and this is a lot.
What were you wearing? Sorry, what were you wearing to start? Were you weird leather jacket?
No, it wasn't one of those. It wasn't like a lair, but I've got a story about that as well. But what I've realized is like men are trying to reclaim some kind of like, I don't know, like living vicariously through these characters and monsters in a place where civilization has sanitized that out of us. You can't do that unless you join the military or you do get to play pro sport or have a hobby where you're being confrontational. So you do it vicariously through characters and games.
Well, I'm sorry if any of our listeners that are into that sort of stuff are listening, but I also think they're a target market for NordVPN because their internet search history is the start of stuff I would like really worry about.
Why? And then you had to bring it to that. But mate, at Rebels, when I was at Rebels, so next to the busy part was this field, and it was live action role play like every
What is the film? Role models.
Yes, precisely like that. The elaborate outfits, like full-on garments, like elf ears, like bow and arrows with the sort of the rubber tips, and then you could shoot. They'd shoot people. They would then be like, "I'm out." That kind of thing. They got shields and foam swords, and they'd have like fighting and duels. But they'd like
that's something I would do for a laugh. Us three, we should go along to one of those and pretend we're into it and film us there. But Mark is the king. Mark is the king in role models, isn't he? A little Chinese man who.
Yeah, I am.
Role model.
Producer Jim, you've got to clip in. You have to clip this in right now. That is Mark, and he's like gets all angry. He's like, "I didn't get shot."
Yeah, yeah.
I love that you're like Mark is Ken Jeong literally, like, obviously I'm Ken Jong. I mean, he's like American Korean, but like, whatever.
I would be up for going along to
King
one of those.
Argatron.
King
I did see people having a chess competition in the Bath Market, and I was like, that's quite interesting. I would actually love to sit down and just get my ass handed to me at a chess competition, because imagine the sort of people that go down there and just...
Mate, so hard.
Yeah. Wow.
Brilliant. In any case, if you've got this far, to our wonderful listeners and viewers, thank you for listening to us.
Ta-ta for now.
More or nothing.